Hello, I'd like to go over the specs for the next exercise, this Brite Winter mailer ad. Notice it's 20 points. It's a little bit more involved than our other exercises in this course, so it carries more point weight. So you can visit the website linked there to see what Brite Winter is about. And your mission here is you're going to create a new, unique mailer ad for this Cleveland Brite Winter event, and you're going to rebrand the look of it. So you cannot use the current Brite Winter logo, and there's some other restrictions here, which I think are pretty easy to follow in the specs, but I'll go over them anyway here. So I'll give you an InDesign template, an InDesign document that's correctly sized, and I'll show that in a minute. So you're going to create an image for the front of the card that that conveys the message of this festival, which is it's fun, it's happy, it's a music festival and an art event. So there's a lot you can do with it image wise. You'll have to have the words Brite Winter on the front in big annoying all bold here on the spec sheet. All type must be created in InDesign or Adobe Illustrator. So in other words, you should know by this point in the course that all type should be vector images and not bitmapped images. So even if you make some really nice display type for the front, you should do that in Adobe Illustrator, right? If you just, for the standard text that people will be reading on this card, you would use InDesign. So let's see, you have to have the words art, music, fire, fun on the front, because that's kind of like their little catchphrase thing. There's some required text that's on the InDesign file, which I'll show you in a minute, and I'll show you how the InDesign file is set up. It's actually pretty straightforward. Once you look at the InDesign file, I think you'll understand what it's going on here. The back of the card has, again, required text that you have to use. It's already there on the InDesign file. I'll talk you through the InDesign file in a minute here, but I think at this point in the course you'd be able to open the InDesign file and figure out what's going on. There's your file name. I want you to deliver this Brite Winter yourname.pdf, formatted for print. And here's the thingy I wanted to mention here. You have creative freedom in this project, and I want you to create something new and different and in your own voice, as a designer. So the thing is, just be sure to deliver the intended message, of this festival. And you can look at the website, you can see what their message is. Reinvent that, rebrand it, and put your own spin on it. I encourage you to use Illustrator to make some unique display type on the front. Whether it's for example, the words, Brite Winter. Could be, you could put some type in Illustrator saying Brite Winter, modify it in Illustrator, then place that in your InDesign file. So, you can use your own photographs. Be creative. You could use like a single photo for the front and some display type and say it's done. But with all we've done in this semester so far, why don't you combine images creatively? Think about taking some of your own images, some of your own photos. If you want to create this whole thing as a vector image, and as long as it works, that's cool. You can also scan original artwork and combine that with either vector type or with other photos, whatever. So anyway, the advice on page 2, be creative. All right, then let's look at the InDesign file. And again, I think, this is all pretty clear It looks really weird when you open it up, but if you read this, make sure you're in screen mode normal, and there's a bunch of layers in here. And it says open the layers tab. This is the information layer up here, which is locked. And you have a type layer and an images layer. Now this information layer is this, annoying blue stuff that tells you what to do. Now you're not going to, of course, print out this info layer, and it even says do not print. Let's go on page 2 here. Page 2 of the InDesign file. Let me move this stupid thing out of the way here. Page 2. This is the required type in this white area here, and it's in the type layer. Okay. Now all this blue stuff, which says leave the blue areas blank, because this is where all the postal information would go. You'd have a postal code in the upper right, the address of where this is being sent, and then down here, I don't know what the heck they call it. There's a barcode that the post office would use. So this stuff in the white have a nice image that relates to the front of your card, and typeset all of this type, so it looks really cool and nice and compelling. And you'll do all that stuff, and you'll turn off the info do not print layer, and you'll export this as a PDF for print, and then life is good. Right now, the other thing I wanted to point out, this might be new. Some of you have used this already in the semester, but okay, let me turn this off first to this. All right. So we've got the white area is the actual surface, the card, right? The canvas is what I call it. The magenta is the border, which is set up for 1/8 inch borders. So like all the important information should go within that magenta 1/8 inch border, so it doesn't get cut off in production. And now the new thing is this red border that's going out beyond the canvas. Well, what the heck is that? Well, it says right here, this is so your actual image size is going to go out to this red border. So that's a bleed, so all your image will bleed to that's to ensure that your image bleeds to the edge of the paper or the card. So this is how you would set up something for print, so you would make, you have all your wonderful magical imagery within here, okay, but it's gonna, the image has to expand to this red bleed, so like whenever this goes through production, none of the image gets cut off. I think you understand what I mean. Like the purpose of making the image larger is just so that you ensure that the image bleeds off to the edge, and it's right here in this annoying blue info layer. You're going to make your image 6.25 by 4.25 and place it into this InDesign document, and then you're going to place your type on top of that image, and then turn this off, and then export it as a PDF for print. So I think that's clear. I think by this point in the semester, you should not have any issues with that. So anyway, so that's the talk about this assignment. Again, my hope is that this is an opportunity for you to be creative and do something interesting, combine all the stuff that you've learned this semester and apply it to this assignment. And if you do a good job on it, this could be a potential portfolio piece.